Okay, so if you guys remember from last year, I went to Japan and they have these sidewalks which have like kind of assisted tactile things on them. So they have them here as well. You walk on these like strips, and then when you get to an intersection, it has like a little area that's like a different texture, and then you can tell that you're in an intersection. In Japan, it makes a lot of sense because the sidewalk is flat, but in Milan, it's like cobblestone everywhere. So I can imagine like slightly left, you're like intersection. It seems kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. So this is the ossuary attached to the San Bernardino Cathedral. It's like a subchapel, and all the walls here are made of old human bones. Alright, let's see if I can remember any anatomy here. Femur, 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 tibia, tibial plateau. See if I can find an elbow here. Oh, there's an elbow. It's an ulna, ulna. And this is the main cathedral of San Bernardino. It's very vast, very beautiful looking in here. Where is it? I zoomed too crazy. Unbelievable. So beautiful. This is a bit philosophical for my Instagram, but that's okay. So the way I think about religion is I think it's like kind of a metaphorical storage of sociologically important information. So like everything in it is a metaphor. So an example, like serving God, God would be like the community and the preservation of your family and friends, and the service to that is the preservation of that community. And so here we have, in which we have this woman happily washing the foot of Jesus, and it kind of illustrates that idea of like the satisfaction to be had from serving a greater purpose. Purpose is, I don't know, I guess up to you, but to me it's like, you know, the community and the existence of your people. Philosophy. So this is the Duomo. It's like impossible to say how big this thing is. Like it's so huge. Texture, like, oh my gosh, can you imagine making that? Unbelievable. So beautiful. It's so massive. Oh my gosh, this guy's doing a trick. I haven't seen that before. Unbelievable how vast it is. Look at this. That's a person down there. That's how big this thing is. It's unbelievable. It's so beautiful. Every time I see like a giant, I always think of like what it would be like to be an old rural farmer and just like have people in the community be like, oh, this church is really beautiful. It's got like 1 million guys on it. It's really crazy big and all this kind of stuff. And then you make the pilgrimage for like days through the countryside and like living off whatever you can. And then that must have been like just crazy. It must have been like going to space, like just seeing something like this. Unbelievable. Okay, next up we've got the Gallery of Vittorio Emanuele II. So this is the world's first shopping mall. They built like an arcade to connect these two neighborhoods, and then they had all these shops because it was a big, like Milan was a big shopping place. And then they just put them together and they were like, ah, here you go, here's a bunch of shops and an arcade. And it became like a 13th century shopping mall. It's kind of neat. The inside of the Galleria. Can you imagine coming here in the 13th century? Like, look at this. This is unbelievable. Oh, my life is awesome and I do awesome stuff. Unbelievable. So vast. Next stop is the Orto Botanica de Brera. The Brera Botanical Gardens. This is pretty peaceful. So peaceful. Alright, I'm done with peace. Time to go somewhere crazy again. So this tiny little street is called the Bottega Rosa. And so it's a few blocks away from the Galleria di San Emanuele. And so the Bottega Rosa is like the bohemian kind of art fashion area. So in the Galleria di Emanuele, you would have like the bourgeoisie and all like the really rich people. And then down here you would have all the hippies making hippie fashion stuff. So it's pretty cool. Pretty historic. Next stop, Castillo Sforzesco. And I'm already here. There it is. Pretty big. So I guess this is like an old castle that they built. Interestingly, they built this castle and then they kept getting conquered and then like different people kept coming in. So the Italians built it and then the Spaniards used it and then the French used it and then the Italians got it back. It's kind of an interesting history. Very cool. This is the inside of the Castillo. Just like a huge arcade. Is it an arcade? I don't know. Whatever. Huge plaza. Okay, but you can understand how people took this over. Look at this. It's basically a rock climbing wall. Get some Spanish rock climbers in there. I mean, they're getting up there. There isn't anything more European than a bunch of pigeons on some cobblestone. Now that's Europe. So I came downtown to the Ferrari store because I'm a big Ferrari fan. They're like pretty chill, but it's actually like super fancy. And I like can't even get in. Wasn't what I expected. I'm chilling in front of the Duomo. Got my first slice of Italian pizza. Does it get more Italia than that? Here we go, first bite of Italian pizza. Alright, back on at the hot out on the little patio action, and time to enjoy this pizza for real. Okay, with the pizza. Here's what I like about the Moroccan food and Italian food, is they don't like, it's not salty. So this just tastes like pure like tomatoes and cheese. It's pretty good. Okay, I've stayed at a lot of hostels in my days, and I've never stayed in a hostel that reminds me so much of the movie Hostel. The elevator's broken, the half of the outlets don't work. There's like 500 staff rooms, like half of this hallway is staff rooms where they butcher everybody. But anyway, yeah, this is the most hostel I've ever hosteled in. All right, time to get some gelato. My friend Cole recommended this, the Gelateria della Romana. Dude, check out this gelato, it's humongous. I got the pistachio and the lemon. Only gelato when I'm in Europe. This gelato's crazy good, oh my gosh. So yeah, this is the Navigli Canal. I guess I'm just looking at myself. Here's the Navigli Canal. So Milan is landlocked, but when they built the Duomo was a church for Mary, and they needed to bring all this marble down the river, and the river wasn't deep enough, so Leonardo da Vinci, he developed a canal system to like raise the water as they shipped this marble down the river. So that's what the Navigli. So there's the Navigli. Here's the other side of it. Doesn't really go anywhere, but the other side looks pretty good. Let's go back to that side. That's the Navigli. This video is missing from my photos. But anyways, I went to a stand-up comedy show that night. So a couple things about Milan. First off, really easy to get around. Like Milan and Lisbon, like you pay kind of like a transport pass, and then you can take whatever you want for like an hour and a half. So you can take like trains and buses and whatever you want to get wherever you want. And so it's like really convenient to kind of take the trains downtown. But anyway, I went to this like comedy show where English was everybody's second language, and they were just like, what's funny is like we're very kind of like in Canada, it's like very politically correct and stuff, and that was like, man, the stuff they said at that comedy show was so wild. It was pretty awesome. It was just interesting to see the cultural differences between Europe and Canada. And then, oh my gosh, the hostel. I was there, and there was like a bunch of like, I had a big room. It was like a huge room. There's probably like 12 of us in there, and like everybody else was like this group, and it was a bunch of like 20-year-old Spanish women, and they were just like doing their hair and partying at like 2:30 in the morning. It was driving me crazy. But man, otherwise, what an awesome city. It's so fun.